It's time to certify, develop, connect, and advocate. So let's talk small business with the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council and your host, Stacy Key.
Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Small Business. My name is Stacy Key. I'm your host. And in this edition of Let's Talk Small Business, we're going to be kicking off 2016, Realizing Tomorrow, the Journey Continues, with the GMSDC leadership. I'm very fortunate to have with me Vanessa Bull of the Lockheed Martin, our chair of the board, Ernest Ellis of FS360, the new MBEIC chairman. Welcome to both of you. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Vanessa and Ernest.
Every marching band play my song, and every choir sing along. Then maybe we can change the world.
Let's Talk Small Business is sponsored by Wells Fargo, the Coca-Cola Company, and Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Here's another reason to love a sunny day. More renewable energy. That's because Georgia Power is helping grow solar energy, making Georgia a national leader. And when the clouds roll in, our diverse fuel mix of nuclear, coal, natural gas, and hydro allows us to choose the most cost-efficient energy source available, saving money for our customers and keeping power flowing 24/7. Learn more about the bright future of energy at georgiapower.com/solar.
Welcome back to this edition of Let's Talk Small Business. And again, with me is Vanessa Bull of Lockheed Martin, our chair of the board for GMSDC, and Ernest Ellis of FS360, our new MBEIC chair. Welcome, Ernest. We're so glad to have you on board.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And so if you could take a few minutes, and our listeners don't know you, and talk about FS360, your journey. You've got a phenomenal company, and talk about what you do.
Well, we've been very fortunate. We've got a great team. We've got wonderful clients. Our company is a general contracting and construction management firm. We started the business in 2008, which was absolutely the wrong time to get into the
right
construction
at the downturn,
business.
They started your business.
On the downslide. It was, a very opportunity for us, though, because we were able to gain a lot of traction in the downturn, and we've grown the business every year. We've got wonderful clients like Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, Lockheed Martin, several schools and universities that we work for, and we've been very fortunate since 2008 to grow our business and grow our capacity, and we look forward to the future and becoming a prime contractor, not only in Georgia, but throughout the Southeast.
Excellent. So welcome to the leadership team at GMSDC. We're truly excited to have you. And Sylvia Neely David, who was our previous MBIC chair, you're standing on her shoulders, and she set the bar high. So we're just expecting great things from you. So you need to know that up front.
Thank you. Sylvia did a great job.
Excellent. And so as we kick off 2016 with the theme of Realizing Tomorrow, the Journey Continues, it's about, GMSDC celebrated 40 years last year. And Vanessa, you know this all too well. We had a lot going on in our 40th anniversary last year.
Yes, we did, Stacy. In those 40 years, we have built a great foundation, and we're going to continue to build on that. But just like you say, change is constant. And so building on that foundation, we want to bring new resources, new tools to help our corporates, our MBEs, and all of our stakeholders that are a part of our business community in Atlanta.
You could not have said it better. You said it was excellent, Vanessa. And as I mentioned, the theme around the journey continues as part of our theme, Realizing Tomorrow. That is indicating that tomorrow, as you said, is change. It's different. And what you need to do for tomorrow will not be what you've done the last 40 years. But GMSDC is here to help you realize your tomorrow, whatever that is, making sure you have the resources, the skills, the capacity, the capability to be successful. And that means something different for different organizations, but we're committed to helping you get there. We're helping you through the journey. And that's what this is really about. And it's about disruptive thinking. It's about doing things differently. It's about getting out of the box for the next year, for the next 40 years for that matter. And so that's where we're going with all of our stakeholders. And so our theme, some of the areas that we're going to be focused on for 2016, one of the key areas is MBE growth. And what does that mean when you talk about MBE growth? So we're going to be looking at building capacity. We're going to be looking at development and getting more opportunities to the table. And so that encompasses everybody, our board of directors, the GMSDC staff, all of our constituents. It encompasses everybody in helping and get there. And so building capacity can mean different things in different ways. And one of those things in terms of programming, we've got a whole slate of new programming planned for the year. And so we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's get into some of the programming. Let's get into some of the things we're going to do and then really explore all the things that are new and different for 2016. So we'll be right back.
There are so many numbers in our lives. Numbers we try to make bigger. Numbers we try to keep small. Some we celebrate. Some we work toward. At Wells Fargo, we're here, empowering communities, offering wealth-building tools and helping you make the most of your numbers, while making sure you never feel like one. Wells Fargo and you, together we'll go far.
So we're back with Let's Talk Small Business with Vanessa Bull and Ernest Ellis. And we're talking about GMSDC 2016, Realizing Your Tomorrow. And as I mentioned, GMSDC has a couple of focus areas, and one being MBE growth, and the other being prime supplier support. And so I'm going to start with you, Vanessa, with prime supplier support. We're always looking at helping our corporations achieve their goals and helping them getting more opportunities to our business owners. And so the prime supplier support, how important is that to corporations and GMSDC in helping them meet their goals?
Stacy, it's extremely important. We're going to continue, I think, as corporations to have opportunities at the first tier level, especially
Excellent.
where our MBEs are. But they will be more competitive. That space has been fully occupied for a while by the MBEs in our communities. So we want to expand their opportunities by working with our prime suppliers and asking them to look at their supply chains and where they can partner with our MBEs. We've got to look at this thing differently. There's space out there for innovative thinking.
Absolutely.
And we look for our MBEs to give us feedback. We don't have all the answers. And so we want to partner with them. We want to continue that dialogue. And we want to work with our primes, like I said, to make sure that they know that they have a responsibility to make sure that they serve the MBE community and make those opportunities available to them.
I think that's excellent, Vanessa. Getting more, our goal is to get as many opportunities in front of our business owners as possible. They may not win them all, but again, the chances of you winning, and if you don't know about the opportunity, slim to none.
Well, Stacy, our prosperity depends on it.
Absolutely, I agree.
As a state, as a country, we have to engage everyone.
And I think the saying, so as small business goes, so goes America. And so that becomes critical for us in terms of the economic development for this great state of Georgia. And so the second part to our focus area is MBE growth. And so what does that mean? And so we've got several pillars underneath that, and that is helping them build capacity, MBE development, and then the opportunity piece is part of that. And so I think as we look at the development piece, we're going to be rolling out some new educational programs this year. We're going to continue with the Mentor-Protege Connection, which is the one-year mentoring program that's available to business owners to be mentored by a corporation for a year, which has been outstanding. And I think, Ernest, you will be a part of that this year. So congratulations for you being a part of that.
Thank you.
And then I think we're rolling out a couple of other programs. We're going to be rolling out Tuck, Georgia, in partnership with Dartmouth Business School. We're going to be rolling out Tuck, Georgia, which will be an opportunity for minority businesses that have attended the Tuck program to help with the implementation and execution with a program that's going to be offered here in Georgia, which will be outstanding. And then the 8A transition program for companies that have been 8A. Transitioning from that program sometimes has been difficult. And so in partnership with SBA, partnership with the Small Business Development Centers of Georgia, and we're going to be rolling that out. So opportunities to help them really grow and build that capacity so that they can effectively compete is going to be key. And then the opportunity piece. Again, getting them in front of all those opportunities is key. When you've got the capacity, the capability, and the skill, now you're just ready for opportunity. And so, Ernest, talk a little bit about, I know there's some focus from the national perspective around opportunities for MBEs. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Sure. I had the good fortune of attending the national leadership meeting with you and Vanessa several days ago, and the national leadership has established a $1 billion goal to increase the diversity spend with corporate members, and there's a very serious effort behind trying to put together the programming, the metrics, the message, and how we'll be able to communicate throughout the country.
So you said
how this additional $1 billion.
$1 billion in increment. Is that a
billion?
Billion?
With a B, a billion.
So you're going to be kicking off a campaign here in Georgia, the Big B campaign. The Big B meaning the big billion.
Yes.
About getting more opportunities.
Yes.
Ooh, I like the sound of the Big B.
Well, and I know all the MBEs at the leadership meeting. They took it to heart, and we had some very good conversations with the corporate members that were there.
$1 billion in incremental?
How will you participate? Are you committed to the program? The response was positive. Now there just needs to be some legwork put behind the vision. And
teamwork's going to make the dream work.
It always does. And so, and that's exciting for Georgia, because Georgia is a strong council. It's a strong state with strong headquarter, prime clients and opportunity. And realizing tomorrow is the appropriate theme.
I know, isn't it timely?
Tomorrow.
Because there's so much change going on. It is about tomorrow. And you've got to be prepared for that.
Right.
And so let's take a minute and talk about, because you can be developed, you can have the capacity, but if you don't have a plan, what does that mean? How can you take advantage of? So how do you prepare, Vanessa, from a corporate perspective, preparing for this tomorrow? What do they need to be focused on? Because again, we can have all this good stuff, but if you're not ready for it, you miss it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Stacey. Well, if you look at what's going on in the corporate world, mergers, acquisitions, there's a lot of change. You have to look at your core capabilities and decide what assets do you want to bring to the corporation so that you can continue to grow.
Bringing that innovation to the table to them.
Absolutely.
Can't do it the same way you've done it.
Not at all, Stacey. And for MBEs, it's no different. It's just on a smaller scale. But they have to look at their resources. They have to look at, do I want to grow organically? Do I want to grow through mergers and acquisitions? And they have to be comfortable in doing that, and then make sure that they have the financial capability to move forward on their plan. So you can't put those strategic plans back in the back of the drawer anymore. You got to pull them out, you've got to update them, and then you've got to go out and make things happen. So we're looking for the suppliers that come to us to be competitive, and I'm sure that's the same for any corporation.
Oh, absolutely.
And then do what you say you're going to do, and do it every time.
Ooh, wow. And so, as we talk about tomorrow, Ernest and Vanessa, I was in a session a little while ago when they were talking about this disruptive thinking, and it was really about tomorrow, because the industries and the places you need to play will be different. Because in some areas, industries where we've got business owners, they need to be rethinking the business model. The model needs to change. It needs to be a little bit different. It needs to be tweaked. It needs to be expanded. And so as you're thinking about your tomorrow, what are your thoughts around that? Because that's a scary thing to think, today I'm doing one thing, but tomorrow that's not going to be a viable area for growth.
I was challenged by an industry veteran last July that my strategy was too small. James Lowry at the Kellogg program, who is a masterful gentleman in diversity.
Another B, think big.
He challenged me with the questions, why not be $1 billion company? And I took 2 steps back, but it was the right question. We have to realize tomorrow, today, and start thinking big. The diversity environment is changing. The Lockheeds and the Deltas and the Coca-Colas of the world, they want us to grow as they grow. They want us to go to scale, and they want us to do business with each other. They want us to bring a different value proposition to the table than we brought 44 years ago. So that challenge is stuck in my head. Talk about disruptive thinking for an MBE community. That's a good question that I think we need to start asking ourselves. If today is now, if we're thinking about tomorrow today, how can we take advantage of every opportunity we have right now?
And so opportunity, when we come back from the break, we're gonna explore that, because we're gonna talk about the events and the things GMSDC has for 2016, which gives you the opportunities to realize your tomorrow. We'll be right back. So we're back with Let's Talk Small Business, talking GMSDC 2016. We've got our new MBIC chair, Ernest Ellis of FS 360, and our chair of the board, Ms. Vanessa Bull of Lockheed Martin. So we're realizing your tomorrow. And so in 2016, GMSDC has got a lineup of events and activities to help you get there, help you to grow your business. So we're going to kick off the year with our annual meeting on March 3rd, hosted by AT&T, our corporation of the year. And so Vanessa, AT&T, awesome partner, our annual meeting. You are the host, actually, from the GMSDC for that meeting. Talk a little bit about our annual meeting, because it's a perfect networking opportunity.
It is a perfect networking opportunity, and I'm excited about the annual meeting this year. We want people to come, we want them to participate, and we want them to hear about the programs that we're offering in 2016. The GMSDC staff has planned a great event. They're bringing in industry experts, and we're going to talk about this environment of change and how do you utilize the tools and the assets that GMSDC offers to improve your business and your competitive advantage. So, but Stacy, it's just like church. You can't just sit on the pew. You've got to participate. You've got to get involved.
Absolutely. You've got to be engaged, and getting engaged is the key to the success of your business. And so we're kicking off with the annual meeting on March the 3rd at AT&T. You can register at www.gmsdc.org. And then we've got a whole host of other things. We've got First Friday. The first Friday of every month, we've got our leadership, which is, we have Ernest Ellis, we've got a representative of the board, we've got myself. And Mr. Ellis, you have been there for a First Friday already.
Yes. Well, it's about engagement. It's about the sharing of ideas, and I've come to find that we've got the answers to all of our questions in the room. When we all get in the room, we're going to try to do things above and beyond what the council already has planned as far as the MBE community goes, to create more engagement, because engagement will create ideas and the flow of knowledge and talking about opportunities. There are
I agree.
22 major construction programs going on in the city right now. And so for me, that's important, but it's important for the entire MBE community, because
it's an opportunity for everybody.
It's an opportunity for everybody. So
right.
As we all talk and collaborate, just being together, creates synergy where 1 + 1 = 3. So the programs like First Friday and the lunch and learns, the bus tours that I'm sure you're going to get to, we're going to try to augment that and put some opportunities together just for us to get together and talk about good things and talk about opportunities for one another.
I agree. And so as Ernest mentioned, we've got the MBIC Lunch and Learn series, and those will be held the last Friday of every single month at the Business Development Center. And that's designed to bring you relevant information to help you grow your business. Strategic alliance and partnerships, branding, sustainability. How many have your own sustainability plan and or know how to do it? And so we've got an expert coming in that's going to help you and show you how to develop your mini sustainability plan. So when that next RFP asks for one, you can whip it out, you can include it, and you're there. So making sure we've got relevant programming for you. We're also, as Ernest mentioned, the bus tours. We're going to be doing bus tours to corporate locations so you can see manufacturing facilities, you can see locations, you can understand the opportunities and understand what's going on at some of our corporate facilities. That is new and different. At the same time, you're going to be networking with your fellow MBEs, networking with corporations. And again, it's all about engagement. People do business with people they like and know. It hasn't changed. And so, again, we will keep our staple events throughout the year. We've got our financial summit. We've got the Spirit of Alliance Awards. We've got our golf for the Masters of the Links. We've got our BOE, which will be in April. This year, we've got one of our staple events that we have every couple of years, and it's the State of Minority Business, a national discussion. So I want to take a few minutes and just chat about that. About 3 years ago, GMSDC took more of a leadership position in understanding the state of minority business and bringing together thought leaders to have the dialogue. We commissioned a study that was done by Dr. Danny Boston, one of our certified minority business owners at Georgia Tech, to understand the state of minority business. What do the numbers say and what's going on in the space? So this year, we'll be revisiting the state of minority business. We'll be having it as part of our Business Opportunity Conference and Expo on April the 19th. And we'll be having a dialogue about where we are and where do we need to go. And so I want to take a pause right now and get it from both perspectives, Vanessa from your perspective and Ernest from your perspective, the state of minority business, because it's changing. You know, GMSDC is changing, we're turning our page, but this space is changing as well. And so, Vanessa, the state of minority business, you mentioned corporations are doing some things different, mergers and acquisitions. What's a few tidbits that you'd share on this current state of minority business?
Well, Stacey, corporations, again, continue to look at the bottom line and affordability issues. So as we do that, as we review our partners, we're looking for value throughout the supply chain. And so as we talk to our business partners, whether they be small, medium, our primes, everybody's looking to make sure that they are bringing the proper resources, that they are aligned to their plans, and that they're answering their customer needs. So we need to make sure that our MBE community is in line with that same vision.
I agree.
We have to make sure that they understand exactly what's going on in the contracts that they're participating in, that we work with them to make sure that they know things change and keep them informed, but also that they have to learn to be flexible. And working together, we can all certainly do business together and win.
And Ernest, the state of minority business, any tidbits you'd like to any comments in relation to that?
Well, you could have a radio series on this.
Oh,
subject,
absolutely, on the state of minority business.
But I'll be brief. I think now more than ever, minority business is ready to accept the challenge of delivering more value. I think now more than ever, the state of MBEs are ready to raise their game. There are more MBEs today with capacity and capability than ever before. I think we have to continue to evolve. From the discussions that we've had at the national leadership meeting, we have to continue to evolve to embrace, some of the things that we have held in taboo status previously, like mergers and acquisitions, partnering together with one another, being willing to take a secondary position, in a contract or an initiative. Those are opportunities for us that historically we have not embraced as a community, especially the African American community. It's well documented that we hold off mergers, acquisitions, and things of that nature. There are some big picture opportunities for us in partnering with prime corporate members, opportunities to maybe buy non-essential divisions, from a large company or so. So the opportunities are there. Tomorrow is now, and if you don't evolve, you'll get left behind. You'll be the last buggy whip company in the country.
That is so true. So when we come back, thank you for that, Ernest, and thank you, Vanessa, as well. So when we come back, we're going to close out with just a couple of last comments about 2016, and then we're going to get folks ready to realize their tomorrows with GMSDC. So we'll be right back.
Here's another reason to love a sunny day. More renewable energy. That's because Georgia Power is helping grow solar energy, making Georgia a national leader. And when the clouds roll in, our diverse fuel mix of nuclear, coal, natural gas, and hydro allows us to choose the most cost-efficient energy source available, saving money for our customers and keeping power flowing 24/7. Learn more about the bright future of energy at georgiapower.com/solar.
And so, Ernest and Vanessa, 2016 is going to be an exciting year at GMSDC. And so, as we're closing today, I want to just add that engagement is going to be key. Taking advantage of all the resources we have, taking advantage of everything that GMSDC has to offer in terms of realizing your tomorrow, whatever that is. And the premier resource in what we do stays top of mind, so that we're bringing all those resources that are relevant to the respective business owners and to our corporations and helping them be successful. And so, any parting words, Vanessa, from your perspective in terms of 2016, GMSDC, and that journey continues with realizing your tomorrow?
Well, Stacey, I just want to, first of all, thank you for your leadership. The GMSDC has continued to grow over the last 40 years, and it will realize tomorrow through great leadership. And of course, our corporations are on board. They are ready. They are engaged. I'm going to ask them to go out and be leaders and engage with our MBEs where they are. Show up at their MBEIC industry group meetings. Let's approach this thing differently than we have in the past. But in order to do that, you must be present.
Got to be there, show up.
You've got to be present, and you've got to be engaged, and you've got to be able to communicate what you bring as far as Ernest said earlier, the value proposition.
I agree. And Ernest, from an MBE perspective, again, if we're trying to grow MBEs 2016, what comments would you share in terms of our MBEs, in terms of getting engaged?
Well, we are just stronger together than we are apart. And I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. I understand the value of time and the lack of it. However, it's an investment in the future. Being together, being engaged in the GMSDC's programs and platforms and interfacing with corporate members and other MBEs, again, it's an overused analogy, but 1 + 1 = 3. Yep. When we are together and we're sharing ideas, when we're engaged in First Fridays, when we come to the Lunch and Learns, when we're together for whatever opportunities that the GMSDC presents itself, we will come away better than when we walked in. And so we have to make the time to be invested in that engagement because that engagement will create opportunities. And at the end of the day, as a business owner, that's all I want is an opportunity. You give me an opportunity, I can make everything else work from there.
I want to thank both of you for this edition of Let's Talk Small Business. For our listeners, I want to remind you of a couple of events that are coming up. We've got the Financial Summit on February 18th, hosted by the Federal Reserve. We have our annual meeting on March the 3rd, hosted by AT&T. We've got a whole host of events on our website at www.gmsdc.org. Please download, please have it accessible. And if not, go to our Stay Connected. It comes out every week. It has all the events, it has all the highlights of what's going on. You want to be connected with GMSDC if you're interested in growing your business. We're committed to helping you do that with realizing your tomorrow. So again, thank you both. Again, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsors, for without you, this would not be possible. Wells Fargo, the Coca-Cola Company, and Georgia Power, a Southern company. Again, thank you for listening to this edition of Let's Talk Small Business. We'll see you next time.
Every marching band play my song, and every choir sing along.